You know I've traveled near and far, see the shining sea. I've seen a lot of places and people that were nice to me. One place that's in my heart, and this is how I feel. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. She's nestled in the sand hills on a river called Fayetteville. Special to so many who proudly served our country here. She was named for Lafayette and known for cotton mills. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. Babe Ruth hit his first one, heard around the world. Sherman marched with the Union and burned the arsenal. Old Market House still standing, but stands for freedom's will. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. My all-American city, Fayetteville. Talking about my hometown, Fayetteville.
Well, good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 9th, 2019 Fayetteville City Council meeting. At this time, we ask that Pastor Laverne Hayden from Wesleyan Pentecostal Church would come to the podium. If he would lead us in our invocation, we ask that all would rise. Following that, if you could please remain standing, we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Troop 787 and Scout Member Tristan. Pastor?
Father, we're so thankful for the privilege to be able to come before the throne of grace. I'm thankful, Lord, for the privilege to come in and stand in the gap for the city and for the council. Lord, we're thankful for the 4 new members. We pray that you'd give all of them wisdom. Lord, I pray that they would be able to work together with those that are sitting on the council before them. Lord, I pray that the business today of the city, Lord, would all be according to your will and according to your plan. And Lord, I pray during this time of we call Christmas, Lord, that the best gift that has ever been given, Christ coming down. I pray, Lord, that we would have the spirit of Christmas in throughout this city as well as this council. Lord, we ask that you would search each of our hearts tonight. Lord, I pray you give wisdom to our police department and others, God, with the crime and different things that happens. But Lord, we're thankful, God, for all that is being done. And Lord, we pray you continue to put your hand upon us, God, that you would give us your wisdom and your guidance. And Lord, I pray again tonight you would search our hearts. Lord, I pray during this time that we would be more giving than ever before. And Lord, let us remember our neighbors more than ever before. And Lord, instead of criticize, let us stand in the gap for our city. Pray for those, God, who make decisions. Lord, that they may do it according to your will. Lord, we ask all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, we know you very well, but if you could let us know a little something about yourself and your ministry.
I'm Laverne Hayden, pastor of the Wesleyan Pentecostal Church right beside the Crown Coliseum. I've been in the city now for 11 years. We do a lot of outreach to our city. We have the privilege of holding 2 services a month down at Mike's Car Wash, or Jesus Car Wash as the city knows it. And we have also the privilege of picking up the homeless community and the less fortunate in our city on every Sunday morning, usually about 2 vanfuls, and bring them to our church, feed them a meal, and bring them back. I also have the privilege of being chairperson of the board of the Agape Pregnancy Support Services here in this city. Matter of fact, I just left from there and came here, and it's just a privilege to be working in the city. And I just tell you, if there's nothing, people say there's nothing to be done, there's a lot to be done in this city.
Yes,
I would challenge, and I know this was aired, I would challenge every pastor and every church in this city to get out of our 4 walls and let us be what we're supposed to be, salt and light. God bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you, sir. And we'd be remiss if we didn't have a representative from Troop 787. I know Tristan led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, but is the Scoutmaster here, or someone want to speak on behalf of Troop 787? How are you, sir? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your...
Hello, I'm Jay Rako, Scoutmaster for Troop 787. We're here tonight working on our citizenship to the community merit badge, so we're helping educate the boys a lot more of how actual processes work within the community, help them understand how people actually make decisions and work with people that are actually from the population and not just things just arbitrarily happen. So that's what they're here, is get educated about government and actually a little more interactive with their own community itself. So thank you for having us.
Well, yeah, thank you. We'll make sure we're on our best behavior tonight as well. All right, at this time I will defer to Councilmember Jensen. Special announcement by a special guest that's joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I introduce the Fayetteville Cumberland County Youth Council representative, I would like to acknowledge a fellow council member, DJ Hare, and his accomplishment that he has worked very hard and diligently for. DJ is going to walk across the stage and become an A&T graduate, and he is going to be part of the commencement ceremony. If I'm not mistaken, you're going to be a speaker, and they're doing his story. Is that correct?
They are doing the story, but it's called a commencement feature.
Okay.
They're going to be showing, it's going to be in their book, it's going to be online and stuff like that.
So one of our own is going to be celebrated for everybody to see, and we are very proud of him, and he is going to get a BA in liberal studies and industrial technology, and he told me tonight that he's going to move ahead and start on his master's. So I would like to give Councilmember Hare a round of applause and let him know how proud we are.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mayor.
So with that being said, I would like to introduce Alexis, and she is our vice chair, and she is a junior of the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council.
Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Good afternoon. I'm Alexis Diana from District 4. I'm the vice chair of the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council, and I'm glad to be here today. The Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council was happy to attend the inauguration of the new City Council Board. It was an amazing experience to be able to attend this event. We are very excited to get to know each and every one of you and see what will happen in the upcoming year. We are currently working on our Adopt a Teen initiative. For this event, FCYC will be given a teen to adopt during this holiday season. Members have donated gifts and items that they would love to share with the teens. We are ending the 2019 year in preparation for next year. As the chair of the Anti-Littering Committee, we are currently working on several different projects to encourage teens and teach them around the county why they should not litter at their schools and in their communities. One of the projects we are preparing is going to be an anti-litter meme contest. Since memes are very popular, we feel like this contest will inspire great ideas and help spread the word about anti-littering. I know this upcoming year will be just as amazing and productive as the previous. Happy holidays and thank you.
Yeah.
Well, welcome tonight, and also we would like to also welcome the newest team members that are joining us tonight. So I'd like to welcome Councilmember Kinston, Councilmember Ingram, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin, and Councilmember Chris Davis. Can we give them a round of applause? At this time, we would ask that Mr. Chaz Sampson, speaking about the 2019 inaugural mixer. Mr. Sampson.
Chaz. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City of Fayetteville. Thank you so much for the time. We have an inaugural mixer. I want to go a little more detail about what it entails and so forth. It's hosted by the Arts Council as well as the Chamber of Commerce, two organizations here in the community that want to bring everyone together. Essentially, from the number of cities I've lived in over the years, and you have special invitations that you're in the dais as well, there's always a session where we bring everyone together and it's fun and we have a great time, and it's a mixer. It seems like it was an inauguration, raise your right hand and come to work. So we're happy to offer that here. We want to continue to do this every single year. That's the goal. So this year will be the first year. Next year will be, of course, the judges, county commissioners, House and Senate level, and then the next year will be you guys again and going forward from there. So I'm able to answer any questions or comments, concerns you may have, and I yield the balance of my time.
Well, thank you, sir, and we appreciate the acknowledgement of it, and I'm sure Mr. Kirby will reach out to you about who's paying for this. So.
Yeah. Well, it's sponsored by myself and another firm, Henry Tyson. So as far as the funds, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Okay, awesome.
All right, but thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And also, too, I do apologize. I have to refer to my colleague now as Mayor Pro Tem, so congratulations, ma'am, and I have to get my act together. So it's Mayor Pro Tem Jensen, so thank you. All right, at this time, I think that covers our recognitions. Oh, yes. We also like to ask that we would keep Councilmember Larry Wright in prayer. His brother is not doing well, and he's asked for our prayers, and he will not be joining us tonight. So if we can keep him and his family in our prayers. All right, and I apologize again. If we could have Miss Cindy McCormick, save the best for last, for the Police Foundation, or a representative of Police Foundation. All right. Evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of City Council, good evening. For those of you that I have not had the pleasure to meet tonight, my name is Sean Groover. I'm the interim president of the Fayetteville Police Foundation. On behalf of the board members of the Fayetteville Police Foundation and our executive director, thank you for allowing me to very briefly tonight. And at this time, very quickly, I would like to ask our board members that are in attendance and our executive director if they would please stand, just so everybody can get to know everybody here, as well as Mayor Pro Tem Jensen. Thank you. Just going to briefly talk about our mission statement, highlight a few events that the foundation sponsors and participates throughout the year. Each of you should have in front of you one of our trifolds, and I'm just going to go over that real quick. So it's the mission of the Fayetteville Police Foundation to support the Fayetteville Police Department in providing a safe community for the benefit of its citizens by focusing on developing supportive community and private sector relationships for our police department, securing private funding sources for law enforcement projects not typically funded by local, state, or federal dollars, supporting innovative and collaborative projects, and finally recognizing our officers and others for outstanding achievements. During the past 3 years, the foundation has raised over $285,000. And I also believe you have a list of our donations and events. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them as well. Tomorrow night is the police department Christmas party that we host. We do that every year. Excuse me. We've also provided the police department active shooter kits for the patrol cars, 15 AEDs and emergency kits. We've just recently helped upgrade the youth services soft interview room and the human trafficking soft interview room. And we've also just recently worked with the chief on recruitment bonuses for lateral officers, where we applied $30,000 to be designated to use to bring in officers as well. So again, I just wanted to quickly touch base and go over a few of the things that the foundation does and highlight some of the outstanding work that we do. And thank you for this opportunity. Pending your question, that concludes my overview.
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Jensen.
Yes, I just wanted to say as a member of this committee, there are a lot of people that have put some tireless work into this committee, and I'm very proud to be part of it. But I did want you to tell a little bit about Back the Blue Night, and that it is an annual event that we just had, and that maybe next year we can come a little bit earlier and we can just put it out there. But I was part of that and got to see what was going on, and y'all did a great job.
It was, and so for those that aren't aware or interested, annually, Mrs. McCormick reaches out to local business leaders, local restaurant owners. This year, it was last Thursday, and so 10% or a percentage of that night's sales is donated by that business back to the Fayetteville Police Foundation. We had probably 20.
With all of them, we had about 32.
So we had 32 restaurants in Fayetteville open up their doors, put the Back to Blue sign out. Some of them we traveled to, board members went out. We did some Facebook Live stuff and some Facebook stuff to get the word back out. But it was a huge outpouring from the community to support, again, us, and in turn back to the Fayetteville Police Department. So great event, and we do it annually. So if anybody's interested, thank you.
And Mr. Glover, you have a ball that you put on every year that police officers are allowed to go by donations of our citizens.
We do.
For free?
Yep. So again, thank you. So every year we host the Fayetteville Police Foundation Ball. This will be our 5th year, right? Our 5th year. So we host that in May. We do reach out to business leaders in the community and individuals to donate it. Sponsorship for it so that we can make it a free event for officers and their spouses or guests. And we have for the last all 5 years, we have completely across the board made it a free event for the officers and their guests to attend, and our community supports it. It is one of our largest fundraisers throughout the year, but there's always opportunities for more people that want to get involved to reach out and contact Cindy, either through the Facebook page or through our contact information that is located here.
And the last thing that I wanted to bring up is the emergency notification system that is $25 a year, that if you have somebody, I'll just let you give the phone number and people can call if they are interested in the emergency notification system. What is that phone number?
910-433-1746.
So that's 910-433-1746, and ask for Cindy McCormick. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I did have one question.
Yes, sir.
So the foundation is funded totally through donations and fundraisers?
Yes, completely. Yep.
Great. This is great work. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you again.
Mayor.
Oh, Councilmember Hare, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. If you could come back up, and I almost didn't say anything, but it was kind of jigging at me. Number 4, I'm assuming that is for Christmas.
Yes.
If you would please consider in the future, if you would just say Christmas
Yes, sir. Yes.
instead of Xmas, I would
Yes, sir.
greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Thank you.
Can we get someone to look at Councilmember Hare's button? I think it's stuck, so that's why I didn't see his light. I think his red button, so even after I cleared, okay. All right, you got it, Yep. All right, thank you, sir. Item 5.0 is the approval of the agenda. Do you have an announcement, sir?
Yeah, I've got an item.
Okay, yes. Item 4.01, reconsidering of agenda item 1912. Look to you, Mr. Hare.
Yes, sir. Mayor, Council, I'd like to make a motion that we, for item 4.01, that we do a reconsideration of agenda item 1912 Murkison Road and place that on our regular agenda for item 9.02 for up or down.
So there's a motion by Councilmember Hare, there's a second by Councilmember Dawkins. Any discussion on the motion? Oh, can't discuss it. All right, Council, look to you for your vote. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by those present. Motion Motion carries. Item 5.0 is the approval of the agenda.
Mayor, I move for approval of the agenda.
There's a motion by Councilmember Hare. There's a second by Councilmember Dawkins. Any discussion on the motion to approve? All right, council, I'll look to you for votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by those present. Item 6.0, consent. Councilmember Waddell.
Mayor Colvin, I make a motion that we pull item 6.07 for discussion.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So is that a motion to approve with the exception of?
My apologies. I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 6.07, which I ask that we pull for discussion.
Okay. Thank you. There's a motion by Councilmember Waddell to approve the consent with the exception of item 6.0. There's a second by Mayor Pro Tem Jensen. Any discussion on the motion? All right. Council, I'll look to you for your votes for consent items. All right. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by, yes, it was seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. All right. All right, motion carries. Item 6.07, Councilmember Waddell.
If we could have someone from staff come up and just discuss what's going on in terms of the improvements in the award of this funding in relation to item 6.07 for the sake of our audience here and at the viewing public at home.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and Councilwoman Waddell. I'm happy to do that for us. I'm very excited about you all voting positively for this award. We're in phase 2 of our terminal renovation, and this is the portion of the terminal that's the remainder. So the elements of this will be a renovation to the concourse B wing. We do have to put fire sprinklers in there, and the ceiling will be removed and LED lights put in. We are changing the carpet and repainting the walls. We have new podiums for the gates, and we're installing an elevator in the B concourse should there be a need to ground load some people in that area. Then we move out to the front of the building. We're going to be putting in a 8-foot or a skinny addition to house 2 brand new escalators to go in the front of the building. We're so excited about that. 50-year-old equipment. We're going to be replacing it with brand new equipment. That'll be on the front side, right in our front new entrance. Will come in. The stairwells are going to be rehabbed. The old elevator is going to be rehabbed, and we're going to add a new elevator that is capable of handling a stretcher. We certainly don't want to use it, but that'll be a full-size elevator in addition to the former one we have. The second level of the concourse is going to be totally renovated. The administrative offices will be to the west side of the building, so you will come up the escalator, the up escalator, and land at the front of the building. And 2 TSA lanes will be straight ahead of you. The airport administration office is on the right, and on the left there'll be a meet and greet area with 2 new restrooms and a new police office for the public. We will have tables and chairs there for the restaurant to order food on an iPad, pay for it, and they'll deliver from the secure area. So that's exciting part to be able to service both secure and non-secure passengers and meeters and greeters. It also include renovations of the ticketing wing with new counter spaces. The TSA baggage scanning process will be moved in the back of the area to gain back our ticketing wing. The front of the building will have 2 new restrooms, and the airline spaces are going to be renovated for the offices and operational space. And in the ticketing wing, we're going to be repainting and replacing the inbound carousels with brand new equipment. So new canopy out front, adjustment to the roadway in the front, a major $30 million project. We're very excited. Thank you for giving us some extra time.
As excited as I am, sir. But
I think I'm more
had
excited.
a question for you. What's the timeline on that?
We hope to get started in January after contract, assuming you all approve the item for a city manager to sign a contract. And it's a 18 to 20 month project as the first portion was, replacing Concourse A. So be a totally new, modernized facility.
Good. Sounds good. Thank you. Good. Councilmember Waddell?
If I may, I move that we adopt capital project ordinance amendment. We are finished with discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Capital project ordinance amendment 2020-29, and award the Part 2 terminal improvement construction contract as presented and authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
There's a motion by Councilmember Waddell. There's a second by Councilmember Ingram. Any discussion on the motion? Yeah, they are, sir. You have a discussion, question? Okay. Councilmember Dawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Brad. Excellent work. The new terminal looks great. So now it is open.
The concourse is open. We took the wall down.
Okay.
So
it's getting used. The Snowball Express went out.
Snowball Express went out Saturday.
Okay.
American has to install some computer equipment at Gate 3 before they operate out of there.
All right.
Hopefully that'll be done mid-December.
So now it looks like 27 million. Is that the plan? Total low bid cost will be 27,560,000.
That's the construction portion, yes.
Okay, and then there's going to be other money on top of that. That's going to.
Well, we have soft costs, and we've built in a
Okay.
contingency.
Have we budgeted for soft costs?
Yes, we have.
We have.
Yes.
Okay, because I want the staff to make sure they heard that. Soft costs are budgeted for.
Yes.
That's very important,
It is.
because they weren't in other projects. So how is this going to be paid for? Who's going to pay for this?
Well, majority of the funding is coming from the FAA, around $17 million. Fortunately, the state of North Carolina came up with 2 additional years of some special funding we had the last couple of years, but they've increased it. We're looking at about $5 million from the state. We have passenger facility charges that we've been collecting and will collect for another $4 million. We have customer facility charges, which will pay for the rental car office renovations, and their parking lot out in the ready spaces will be renovated. And we have about $3 million of airport reserve funds that we'll be putting into it.
Excellent. So I didn't hear you say that the local taxpayers are going to pay anything on this airport expense.
Well, we have a line item for general fund, it's 0.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, sir. Any other questions? All right, council, I'll look to you for your votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by those present. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for making history for the airport.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item 7.01, Chief Hawkins.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you very much. Standing by. Let me get everything set up. So I want to start off by saying thank you again for giving me this opportunity on a quarterly basis to be able to share a little bit about where we are with keeping our community safe and secure, and to be able to share a little bit each quarter about how the police department does that. So what I've done is try to compartmentalize the presentation so it flows from being able to show you crime statistics, being able to show you our crime trends and analysis, our community engagement, as well as some of our crime fighting strategies. It helps when we get a lot of feedback. Last time we got some good feedback to try to tweak to see how it's better explained so you can understand it. So with that, we're going to the first presentation. So I provided with everyone on the DS with a cover sheet for NIBRS, a definition of NIBRS. This is the standard that's established by the federal government so that we can see what the definition of a specific crime is. So that's why when I say NIBRS, you have that definition, that's where it's coming from. Across the board, when we're able to compare apples to apples from other cities, what a definition of a homicide is, it's not any different. So this is our first presentation for the Group A of offenses, is crimes against persons. You'll see aggravated assault right now is up 3 incidences, which is less than 1% from the time period of January to September 30th, 2019. And these columns are going to say apples to apples comparison. That same time period of January through September is what we're looking at. So because aggravated assault has been continuously one of the topics that is driving our numbers of increases like violent crime, I provided a definition so that you can be able to evaluate what exactly is an aggravated assault. There are misdemeanor and felony aggravated assaults, and it's basically any intentional act intended to inflict harm upon another that does not result in serious injury is a misdemeanor. So in other words, if someone just hits you in the jaw and you bruise, that is a misdemeanor, but it's still counted against our numbers, a general fight. A felony is when something, the same type of action, but you have a serious injury like a broken jaw, someone stabbed, someone shot. That changes the definition. So as we drill down on this information, we look down to see the difference of what was driving our numbers in comparison, felony or misdemeanor. And then we saw the end of last year that some of the felonies that we were encountering really dealt with, let me back up a little bit. So we start looking at we start analyzing who the offender is. And we saw also that more than 60% of the offenders are known by the victim at the original time of reporting. That's important because when we make the original police report, that's what NIBRS determines of what you're evaluating. So there's another category that says relationship unknown. I'll give you a better definition of that. What is an unknown offender? That's someone that you might have a nickname to. You don't have in order for NIBRS to count as a known offender, we have to have a full definition of a name, first and last name. So if we just have a nickname, or that might be someone, we can't classify them as a stranger and we can't classify them as a known offender just yet. It will take the investigations further work in order to make sure that is separated and defined. So as I was going on to speak about aggravated assault, domestic violence is a category of aggravated assault. And if you recall last year, we noticed that was driving the numbers a great deal, so we created an aggravated assault unit, which is 3 detectives, and to look at just drill down what different can we evaluate. Can we prevent different situations of domestic violence from reoccurring, or what can we do about it? So I'll be able to answer questions and go back on that one. So in 2018, we had 22 homicides for the whole year. 7 of those homicides were domestic violence related. So that was one of the main reasons for making sure we looked into this. I can say from January to September 30th of 2019, we had no homicides that were related to domestic violence. What we saw is we started really focusing on victims and trying to take a little bit more care and make sure the victims go to the court. We document, we guide them, understanding the importance of documenting information. So we believe that's helping us out with trying to solve and more prevent domestic violence instead of leaving it as just a misdemeanor, making sure that it's prosecuted or taken to court, or they're provided resources in order to not be a victim again. So then NIBRS is the second group of NIBRS is the property crimes group. Here's the increased apples to apples from January to September. We looked at robberies as increased from compared to last year. We drilled down on what a robbery is, and a lot of people get confused and say, I got robbed, and you might have got burglarized or larceny. So it's any larceny which is facilitated by a direct use of force, or threat, or perceived threat. So someone walking down the street and they run down, just grab their purse, is considered an individual robbery example. So similar to this, looking at the offender analysis of that as well, that has a lot of unknown, and we've seen also that when a victim decides to not cooperate, they will report it initially, but then they decide not to cooperate with the investigation. That still is counted as an unknown. They won't give us a suspect name, even though we think they may know the suspect name. And there's also times where certain times of the month where someone might say they got robbed or things are taken from them, and typically we've seen zero solvability in those situations as well, when it might be time to pay the rent or things like that. So yes, unfortunately. So we give another definition, just like we did for aggravated assault, for known and unknown. And just remember, same thing, if we're not quite sure if that person may or may not know, or if they know a nickname, they have to be classified as an unknown. So just going back, if you remember, for robberies, 33% is stranger-based. So now we're going to talk about the clearance rate, and why the importance of the clearance rate to show this number is clearance rate is indicative of the quality of investigations that our department is doing. This really takes the ability for offenders to continue offending when we are able to solve the crime and take them off the street. So we on average, and if you look down the number, the national average is on the right. FPD's year-to-date was to the left for the whole year. So what this number will do, you'll see from January to September, this number continues to gradually increase because investigations are ongoing and continue. So this number will have a solid number probably by mid-March. And as we solve crimes, that number will increase of our solvability rate. We also show and talk about our traffic fatalities. That's important because safe and secure community involves speeders, involves fatalities, involves ability to prevent crashes or fatal accidents. So we highlight and monitor those in order to deploy our personnel. We also work together with other city staff to make sure if there's recommendation for lighting, crosswalks, or other things that we analyze, we do an evaluation of that as well. So I'm listing the numbers for narcotics unit, and this is solely numbers for narcotics in regards to their efforts. On the left-hand side, that's 2018 for the entire year. So this is the only slide that won't have the comparison for apples to apples. That'll show for the entire year, but that's our results so far for those particular type of narcotics that were taken off the streets and arrests and guns. So the other thing to be shared is the ability for the narcotics unit to work with our federal partners. It really supports the community and supports our city in the efforts to maybe put a stronger individual who is really bringing narcotics into the community and really focusing on violent crimes. We have ATF task force, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms Task Force. We have DEA Task Force. We have multiple partners that assist us. Just this last quarter, 10 of the people that we were adjudicated in federal court, which was a combined effort of 140 years total. With that, there's pictures from that time period. Last time, we also presented our Communications 911. This is important because a lot of the community really depend on the service and how we respond. So if you look at the national average, that's we received in the third quarter 139,200 total calls received. So on average, we responded to just priority 1 and priority 2 calls below the national average was 5 minutes and 49 seconds, and our targeted response was 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So we also had a lot of questions last time regarding making sure we tell people to call 911, and I shared how we triage those type of calls. And with that, we also produced a public service announcement, and here's a sample of that announcement.
Hello everyone, my name is Merla Molina and I work with the 911 Communications Division of the Fayetteville Police Department. Today I'm here to tell you a little bit about our prioritization system. All calls are prioritized from level 1 to level 5, level 1 being the highest priority of calls, such as a shooting or a robbery. If we have an officer available, it doesn't matter what priority your call is, we're going to go ahead and send an officer. But those times when the city's a little busy and we don't have officers available, that's when that priority system comes into play. I also want to let you know that just because your call is on, let's say, a priority 5, that does not mean that if your situation changes, it may not move up priority. So always call us back to update us and changes. I hope this has been a little helpful and given you some insight into the prioritization system.
So that's what we produced after we got feedback of trying to understand what is the difference of priority 1 through priority 9. And so people are not afraid to call 911. That is the way we're going to get information quickly. It's recorded and it's documented, and it provides great information to let me make sure, for us to do research.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marla Molina, and I work with the...
This is, let me go to this one. Okay. So next portion is our Office of Professional Standards, is where we also has 2 divisions, is our Internal Affairs Unit, and these are the numbers compared apples to apples, the times that we review any type of use of force, our own departmental investigations, as well as compared to how many times we investigated a complaint from a citizen. Another part of Office of Professional Standards is our employee staffing, our recruiting and background. This is where we are with our staffing numbers from that time period. You'll see at that time period we were down sworn 20 individuals, non-sworn a total of 19. So part of the efforts that we do in recruiting is making sure we're focused on lateral cadets, because that takes up a little less time in order to bring on a new whole class of new cadets, of training them 6 months plus their field training. We've also, as you heard before, the foundation is supporting us, as well as you all, City Council, are supporting us with providing incentives matching the same funds for lateral hires, and as well as recruiting individuals come on to the police department. We are focusing on going to other states like South Carolina, trying to get on a lateral, as well as throughout the state of North Carolina. Another achievement that we were able to acquire is getting the aviation unit expanding on the traffic accident reconstruction. Why this is important is us utilizing drone technology as well as other technology in order to capture a scene of an accident. Basically, the time it takes 30 minutes to deploy this drone is equivalent to 10 man-hours. 10 man-hours, as well as the ability to clear that intersection or clear the vehicles off the road a lot quicker. So that's utilizing the police department man-hours a great deal. Another one of the achievements of our social media and the power of empowering getting the assistance from the community. This is something that we showcase, trying to get help from our Crime Stoppers in our social media. We had about 14 cases from the time period of June to September, in which citizens were out just in their yard doing yard work, and someone was walking in their house and was a pillowcase bandit. Through our partners of the community and social media and videos, we were able to identify an individual and able to close 16 cases, and a lot of feedback of citizens who were extremely happy that they were able to acquire their pieces that they had lost, jewelry they were missing, and things that were non-replaceable. So in beginning of 2018, we established a gang unit, and within a year, the gang unit was recognized as Gang Unit of the Year for their efforts and achievements of doing work by the North Carolina Gang Investigators Association in this time period. So I say why we are safe and why we are safer. We have 123 active community watch, 13 business watch, 11 homeowner watch groups, 4 cyber, and numerous other partners within the community that really work together to make sure they identify what they want the standard to be in order to keep their community safe. Educating and empower and understanding that this is our shared responsibility empowers the community. We use all platforms that are listed here of our social media network, and the front page, you could highlight that we are the most followed police department in the state of North Carolina. The most followed, yes, and we're not the largest, remember? So that says a lot as far as who's watching us, what information are they getting. So please like us share the information that we're educating the community, because even if it hits not just our community, it hits nationwide, what information we're sharing, because we're always putting out public safety announcements for prevention, and especially during the holidays or anything that we see, we make sure we get that information out. Another part of our community engagement is in September 20th, through Operation Ceasefire, we debuted our community engagement trailer. It's another opportunity through a grant that we acquired this trailer in order to engage in the community. At this particular night, we were able to pass out ice cream, but this is also educational. You see we have a TV on the outside of that, in which we're providing public safety announcement to children or adults about things in the community. And then the next ceasefire night, we actually provided, because it was a little cold for ice cream, we provided hot chocolate during that time period. Another community engagement initiative that we had during the month of July is our intern program, in which we paid interns 8 positions for 10 weeks in the summertime. They were from local universities, they were from all fields of study, and as a result, they were able to actually produce a video, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that.
For enthusiastic, reliable, and committed college students from Fayetteville Tech, Fayetteville State, and Methodist University, the internship program here at the Fayetteville Police Department provides an enlightening, rewarding, and educational experience in law enforcement. Professionalism is key in being an intern at this department. The uniform provided promotes both visibility within the department as well as a sense of unity between you and your fellow interns. Being both an independent thinker and a team player is paramount to being a successful intern. The Fayetteville Police Department accepts all majors from graphic design to forensics to even psychology. Fayetteville Police Department offers a wide variety of career fields for interns to experience. Many teams and units make up the Fayetteville Police Department, and several of the units and offices that interns have worked in include the Public Information Office, Planning, Research, and Development Office, Fleet Management, and the Crime Information Center. During the internship period, both hands-on training and technical skills are highlighted when working with these units. As interns, we are
So it goes a little longer for the sake of time. They actually created this on video with understanding what they did. So we feel that's important because we're able to show them that you don't have to have a criminal justice major to work in the police department. We do a lot of things that take a lot of different skills. So bringing them from the community, seeing how well they are able to work keeps us going. So the next thing you'll have is the strategic plan booklet. I put a hard copy in front of you to be able to view, but it's also digitized in this link, and when we push it out digitally. And I'll give examples on this. It shows anticipated crime trends, crime fighting strategies, and departmental goals. We update it in the beginning of the year to say, what are we going to do and what is our plan for the year to focus on and improve our efforts. So ultimately, we are extremely safer and an extremely secure community because we understand we do not do this alone. We do this through our partnerships, we do this through our community, and we do this through everyone who's listening, and then some. We have a quarterly faith forum where we educate and empower. We have Citizens Police Academy that we put on twice a year to get a behind-the-scenes look on the police department. We have events like National Night Out where the community is out there engaged. They're out there getting to know each other and getting to know everyone in the police department. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize half of my command staff that are standing behind me because there's no way I could do this by myself. We have the most sought-after, recruited professionals. So I'm very proud of. I have 2 assistant chiefs behind me, 4 majors, and 2 of my captains, even though I have more captains than that, and officers. But very proud of them. They are, when I say they are sought out, sought after for their expertise, their professionalism, and how we work as a team. Very proud of them. Can't be more proud. So I am open for questions now.
Thank you so much, Chief. Very excited about the great work you and FPD are doing. I did have a couple of questions as it relates to traffic. I know this is something I brought up last year. What are we, and I know it's hard to predict trends, you may have one accident that has 4 fatalities, you may have one accident that has 1 fatality, so that's kind of sporadic. But overall, what is our plan to address the traffic fatalities and crashes that we're seeing in the report tonight?
So as the only because I know where we're trending as far as comparative accidents. What we do, why we monitor those is because we're always looking at what was the factor that dealt with this accident. Why was it a major accident or a fatality? And so, for example, like last year, we had incidences on Cliffdale Road. You know, we know Cliffdale has a lot of speed, so we deploy our manpower out there. And plus, we also do public safety announcements to remind people to slow down. When we see an increase in motorcycle accidents, we see those and we put out information to make sure, even on the base, if there's individuals with motorcycles. But it's very difficult because a lot of the fatalities this year have been things that, you know, really hard to control. This year, people have been on the sidewalk and been hit. People have been within the crosswalk and been hit. So it is very difficult to predict. We do our best to prevent, especially when we hear the community say there's speeders in this area. We definitely go out there and we deploy to those locations for speeders. We've seen a decrease in DUI, which is good because that means that people are utilizing Uber or Lyft, so that's a positive thing. So when we've had details, so it's very, very difficult to predict. We definitely need the assistance from the community, letting us know when there is communities that have speeders, and we deploy our speed detection device to first investigate and monitor the trend for that area. So if you see that when we deploy those, we're collecting the data to say what's the best time to be out there for those incidents. So it's very difficult to predict how to prevent it, but we definitely need people calling and letting us know when they see an incident or a high increase in speed or someone violating a traffic violation. So,
Thank you. Councilmember Hare.
Thanks, Mayor. Chief, thank you again for a very good report, and all of our men and women that are with us tonight from our police department. We greatly do appreciate our police department team, and I see them quite often. The questions that I'm going to submit to you tonight are mainly those that I have received from citizens, other than maybe one or two from me. This one we've discussed, and I don't know if you can go in any detail with it tonight or not, but when it comes to our home safe watch, I may not be saying it correctly, but if someone leaves the house, I think they have to be gone for 5 days.
No, there's no restrictions on time period they can be gone. If they're gone for the weekend, we'll take it.
Regardless of the time,
yes.
Frank. Tell me, how are we doing to improve that? Because I have gotten some calls about.
Yes, sir. And actually the call, and thank goodness, we actually found the information, the same person who called you, it was at a coffee with a cop, and she approached us and told us as well. So that gave us the ability to say, well, where are we dropping the ball? Basically, her house did not get monitored at that time period. So we put in things to make sure is when they submit a house watch, we have a process that is from communications to how we deploy it in our roll call. So absolutely, if they still feel an issue, so we have a way in right now of making sure that their house gets monitored, and it's put on a officer's daily activity sheet of, hey, this person's out of town until this time period, go by and check the house.
So we have a big improvement.
Yes,
in
we do.
that area. Another question is, you mentioned about the aggravated, help me with the word.
Aggravated assault?
Yes, ma'am, that's it. And having the person's real name.
Yes.
Tell me, if you know the person's name that has aggravated you or that they assaulted you, how is that, I understand it's maybe put in the data a particular way, but is it still investigated?
Absolutely.
With the high of urgency?
Absolutely.
If you don't know the person's name, maybe have a street name.
Absolutely, sir. We investigate it even when they're not cooperative. We're always investigating, trying to find leads, because they may feel threatened to give a statement. So we definitely investigate it, yes.
The other question that someone asked at one of my meetings was the efficiency of texting in a emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that and how it's set up as far as the priorities, and is it set up the same way depending on what it is you text?
So you're talking text to 911?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Yes. Texting to 911 is the same process, and it gets filtered through communications in the same manner. They'll have that ability, and depending on each case, because it's hard to say this one's going to get a high priority, but it does have the system of once you text to 911, and we educate that as well, and we'll probably do a PSA as far as showing an example of how to do it. But those are typically on incidences where it's very useful when people are unable to talk. So we're able to receive that. We're also still in the midst of improving technology to be able to take like pictures and things like that through communication. So that's not quite ready for photos yet, but we do text to talk as well, text to 911 as well as 911, as well as calling 911. It's the same efficient manner.
So the number that goes in is 911?
Yes.
Okay. My last and final question, Mayor. How successful are we with our police mobile station, and whenever we set it up in different locations, and is one enough?
Police mobile station. Let me get clarity. Are you saying like a roadblock?
No, ma'am.
I'm not sure what a mobile station is.
Occasionally, I'll just give you the location.
Okay.
I thought it was just called a mobile station, where like the trailer is pulled. I assume we still use it. Haven't seen it in a while, so we'll stop using that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the police mobile station.
Wow.
A command post. Oh, a command post is only utilized when there is an incident, a major incident. Like, for example, if we had a president visiting, we will have that command post station so that we're close to the location. Or we have a major homicide where we have to be on scene, or we have an active shooter situation where we have to move to that location and respond in a unit. But a mobile, like I'm thinking you're imagining like a precinct that exists for a certain time period.
We've had it. I mean, I'm not saying you don't use it the way that you're saying, but I've had it where we've had it located on Jasper Street behind the Suburban Mart, and it sat there a couple of days, and it wasn't that type of scene that was going on. That's the reason I asked. But,
okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Dawkins and then Councilmember Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief, I want to thank you for working closely with your Fayetteville Police Foundation, Cindy, Sean, all the board members. That's so crucial. That gets you funds that you can then designate to other areas that our budgets don't pay for, as in, say, personnel. I also want to thank you for your commitment to the cameras. Some of the neighborhoods have called me and said their cameras are working now, their cameras are connected. That's extremely important. We need to blanket this city with cameras. Yeah. So we'll talk about that when we talk about budgeting. But the more cameras we have, the safer we will be long term. Thanks also for responding so quickly to high-speed areas. In the older section of town that I represent, lots of folks like to speed on Morganton and the Haymont area, whatever, and I'm glad that we're writing some tickets. And when they complain to me, I say, there's reasons that why we have these speed limits.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you installed the 12-hour shift, and I wanted you to expound, provide your observations, because I see we're down like 20 sworn officers, but we were down much more than that, and I guess you've hired some in the last 3 or 4 months.
No, this is actually, we were less from our first 2 quarters. We're down more. This is the largest I've experienced, but you're correlating with the 12-hour shift. Let me take care of both of those at the same time. So this is in our first year of 12-hour shift. You want to expand on that? Basically, we were in a 10-hour, we were a mixed shift beforehand. The hardest shift to man is a 10-hour shift. You need more personnel to man a 10-hour shift throughout the organization. Us going to a 12-hour shift enables us to have right now, even though we're short 12 personnel, to have minimally 12 officers in each squad in each district on patrol, which equates to approximately 36 throughout the city on a 12-hour shift. We were not able to have that many officers in a 10-hour shift. So that's the reason why we moved to 12-hour, to make sure we have more personnel in a more balanced deployment. So in the efforts of researching and looking for recruiting, we're going to have a academy class in January of approximately 20 cadets, but we are still recruiting laterals. We're still on our efforts of recruiting laterals, so that's a big effort. So,
Thank you. Councilmember Ingram.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm glad you touched on recruiting, and that's where my question is coming from. In efforts of recruiting, I know you mentioned that we are reaching out to South Carolina. How often are we setting up job fairs and recruiting, and how are we getting that word out?
we have a recruiting unit, and we are at every job fair in the region, and when we also utilize other officers. So even though we have a sergeant and an officer assigned to recruiting, we actually use the rest of the police department besides us in command, always looking for opportunities to recruit throughout the police department. We actually pull other detectives, other officers to give their experience and their point in order to be at multiple locations. So at every opportunity we get, we make sure we are recruiting efforts. We are also, sorry y'all, police officer, I mean. So every opportunity we are pushing out information on recruiting. So we are at job fairs throughout the region. Of course, we work with Fort Bragg in every base. So.
And then my next question would be, in terms of gosh, I almost forgot it. I think I forgot my question. In terms of the, yeah, I think I forgot it. It's fine. The recruiting, I guess I'm trying to word my question correctly. Does anybody else have questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Come back to me.
I'll come back. Okay. Just press your red button next go around. Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief Hawkins, thank you and the police force for all you do. I have a question about human trafficking. There's a lot of buzz on Facebook and social media in general, not simply about human trafficking, but about the different ways that people are attempting to kidnap and commit those crimes. I really didn't see it in the report. Is the department tracking? Are you guys interconnected in any way, form, or fashion with maybe state level resources, and what's the general status on human trafficking here in Cumberland County?
Yes, thank you, sir. We actually have one of the most sought after human trafficking unit in the state. Our expertise, what we do, how we work in partnership with private sector in order to focus on eradicating. And I know there was a time that it was notated that there's a lot of human trafficking in Fayetteville. But that's because we actually are working and investigating it. Mm-hmm. That's why, and we are connected and use all type of resources to educate ourselves and figure out what else we can do about human trafficking. But it is definitely, and I think just even in our meeting today, we have other resources that we're partnering in besides help me with the name. 5 Sparrows. Besides 5 Sparrows, there's another entity that's going to help us with the transition for victims of human trafficking until 5 Sparrows can help partner. So whenever we do a detail, we work with our federal partners and ourselves, and then we work on making sure we holistically look at human trafficking issues and give the victims the opportunity to get out of that field. But thank you for that question.
Thank you. Next question I have, and I'll be quick. Kid, could you speak to some of the successes you're having with the integration of ring technology? I know in a lot of our community watch groups, we're really talking about, the ability to watch and cover each other's yards and communities with the arrival and the utilization of ring technology.
Yeah, so as I said, the shared responsibility with our Neighbors app. Through the Neighbors app, you can use any type of camera systems and share the information with each other and with us. We get alerted, we get information, we get camera systems, photographs, and then we're able to push that out on social media and through Crime Stoppers and get leads. That's helping us out a great deal. So it is very imperative we utilize that information and we keep pushing it out to our community watch and through the rest of the community.
And my final question is, do you have any pointers on how to continue to establish more community watch groups? I know I'm trying to work on getting it, to spread throughout District 6, because I see they are effective.
They are.
In a lot of communities, the citizens aren't aware of how, much work goes into your crime prevention officer initiatives that you guys do.
So I think what I would recommend is not just sharing examples of your neighborhoods, to visit an existing neighborhood watch or community watch group to see how they're doing it, and they determine how they want the community to be, what the guidelines, the rules they want, and then at that point we make sure we hold their hand in figuring out how to establish one. But definitely I would recommend, if you see someone one of your constituents who wants one, invite them to one that exists small. We have many different, well-versed on many different small ones that have been on for a long time period, that are well-oiled machine. So that's what I would recommend, and invite them to go to another one, and then they can get some ideas, and we'll help them establish the one that they want for their community.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Ingram.
Thank you. Back to recruitment. In terms of recruiting, do we know, and when someone shows interest in the City of Fayetteville Police Department and they then say, okay, well, never mind, are we tracking the reasons of why they are not following through this process? I know some can get into the program and realize for other reasons they can't, but at that initial, are we tracking why, as to why it may be just a social reason of not wanting to go through with it because of how police relationships may be, just by a social standard, or are we following that?
So in order to get through the hiring process to be a police officer and then to be a Fayetteville police officer, it takes a lot of effort. And we do our best in the very onset, after we get all the applications, and even before we let people apply, we do a lot of information sharing in order to, when they submit their application, they don't have errors or mistakes, so that they don't get kicked out of the system. For example, out of 500, say average, 500 applications is an average that we get. Before they even submit their application, we have recruiting efforts at our police academy where we're talking them through, we're giving them clues, we're giving them tips on how to make sure they submit their application, how to study for the test, how to study for different things. So out of a 500 pool, there's eliminators in order to be an officer. So we're about to have a class of 20 out of 500 pool. But along the way, the effort it takes to get that person hired, we want to make sure it's the good candidate that is going to eliminate doubt. You can't have a little bit of doubt and be an officer. But we take them through the academy. We build them up and understand you can be as well-versed, diverse as possible. You have to have that one interest, is to make a difference and to be a servant. That's the main thing. You have that. You can be a graphic designer and have that. You can be a psychologist and have that. You have that one effort, we'll train you to be an officer. So it takes a lot to actually get hired, but we actually literally hold the hand all the way through, so there's no errors, there's no outliers. We make sure they have any issues, to not get eliminated. And then we try to keep a pool just in case. Try back again. We are always encouraging to give us 6 months, try back again, because we'll always be looking for it. Or we actually might divert them to another aspect of the police department, because policing might not be for them. So there might be something else they can do within our police department.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Waddell.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin. I will try to be very quick, but I make no promise. Chief Hawkins, first of all, thank you for being responsive in the way that you and your team presented information this evening, listening last quarter and taking that and being able to bring this back in a way that we can really, receive it and understand it, and it meets our needs. I really appreciate that. Second, you highlighted the aviation component in terms of the drone technology, and I just want to give a quick shout out to E.E. Smith High School, who is implementing a lot of this preparatory work and preparing their students for this type of a career and many others where technology is concerned. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Joyce, is he a captain now?
He is a captain. Captain
Joyce was actually present at that meeting and highlighted, I think it was Captain Joyce. Might not have been, forgive me if it wasn't.
Was it you? It was.
Okay. Highlighted the information about aviation and how the force is really working with that technology. So thank you for that. My question, I have two of them. Well, one more plug really quickly. Recruitment and retention. I just want to give a quick plug for the Neighbor Next Door program, because I think that all of us up here do recognize that it takes a lot of different components to retain highly qualified personnel. And so hopefully that project that we've embarked on, whereby we provide $20,000 forgivable loans toward the purchase of a house in specified neighborhoods for our police officers.
Yes.
Hopefully that will help to retain some of these well-qualified,
Absolutely.
well-trained officers. And we hope that we can expand that program so that we can continue to do that.
Thank you.
Now, here's my question. Litter enforcement is very difficult. So we're driving down the street, we see somebody throw a whole something out of their door, and we're all trying to figure out how to keep the city beautiful while we've got people driving in front of us just trashing it, and it's becoming epidemic. And one of the reasons that we can't quite get a handle on it is because enforcement is very difficult. Is there anything that's in motion or in play whereby there will be some citizen component whereby at least it can be called in, almost like this tattletale creation? Because I know that DOT has a system where if you observe somebody littering, you can take down their tag and put it into DOT's system, and they'll send them a letter, which kind of puts a person on notice, hey, we see you. So is there something that we might be able to work, as the youth council is doing the work of creating this advertising campaign, is there something that we at the city can be building to create a, hey, we see you component, so that when we see this behavior occurring, if there's not an officer right present who can take care of it, we can still report that and have that person serve notice that we see you?
So I would look at expanding and supporting the DOT method and figuring out how we can do our public safety announcement to educate the community of that effort of take down a tag and send it through this venue. Because other than unless we witness it, we can't do anything with it as local law enforcement. But DOT can do something with it, with the tag and associate it with the owner. Since they already have that component, what we can do is probably try to create a easy method to educate the community that is it, and push it out on our social media network. We can work on that. But we're kind of limited. We can't even arrest individuals unless we witness it, except for domestic violence on an assault. If someone says that, they have to go take their own warrant out. So it would be difficult for us local to be able to do it, but we can definitely push out that information or that venue for how do you address this and empower everyone with education through that avenue.
Thank you so much. And council, I hope that we will consider maybe having that conversation with our police department to see how we can make that information get out to the public so we can get some help getting this litter under control. Thank you, Chief Hawkins.
All right, thank you. Chief, before we receive your report, I did have one thing I wanted to get you to mention. I saw our robberies were up a little bit, but you have a program that I think would be particularly useful to our young people, school age, who may sell cell phones and transact commerce through social media, which often turns into robbery or some other unfortunate event. Tell us about the safe zones that you have for these transactions to take place.
So especially during the holiday seasons, we already have a public service announcement. If you are buy something, share something, whether it be Craigslist, Facebook, OfferUp, or whatever the venue, we allow individuals to come to our police department and our police precincts in order to exchange those items, as well as we educate everyone. We just put it out not to go into a dark space. Don't do it at night. If your hair's on the back of your neck, stand up. Don't do it. If it's too good to be true, it probably is not legit, because we have had individuals and youth robbed once they show up to buy a phone or shoes or whatever it may be. But communicating that effort out to make sure that they meet up at our headquarters or our two precincts in Cross Creek and Central are avenues for them to exchange those items and buy and sell. So.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief, I just wanted to thank you for everything that y'all are doing, and thank you for your report. Everything's, we get all this information, but the thing that is pretty impressive, and I know it just seems it's like the little things that make things move, but to be the most followed police department on social media is really a big thing, and I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but getting all that information out to everyone you really should be commended for that because, even as a business owner, I know it's very hard to get followers. So that is something that we should be proud of as a city. Y'all are doing a great job, and thank you so much for your report tonight.
Thank you, and we needed you to like and share because Charlotte Mecklenburg is trying to get on our tails because they know we've been ahead of them for a while. So we're going to keep pushing to make sure the information we share keeps getting out to make sure that we continue to stay safe. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kinston.
Mayor Coven, I make a motion to approve 7.01 Fayetteville Police Department 2019 third quarter review.
Thank you. There's a motion by Councilmember Kinston. I think there's a second by Councilmember Davis to receive the report presented. Any discussion on the motion? Councilman Dawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Attorney McDonald, I just had one question. Should the wording be that we accept the report or instead of approve? The approve concerns me a little bit.
I apologize. I thought the mayor said the motion was to receive, which would be acceptable, to receive the report.
But not to approve.
We'll approve the receipt of it, but I think the motion is to receive, right? Okay.
Okay, so can the motion be restated?
Okay.
Mayor Coven, I make a motion to receive 7.01 Fayetteville Police Department 2019 third quarter review.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a motion by Councilmember Kinston. It was seconded by Councilmember Davis. Any other discussion on the motion? All right, Council, I'll look. Is that voting, sir? Yes. Okay, all right. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous by those present. Thank you, Chief. Keep up the good work. Public forum. This is a time that any Fayetteville resident may have input and a voice in what goes on in their city. Due to policy restrictions, the forum will not last any longer than 30 minutes, and each speaker will be limited to only 3 minutes to address the City Council on issues related to the City of Fayetteville. Individuals wishing to speak at tonight's public forum should have signed up with the City Clerk prior to the start of tonight's meeting. If you are here to speak on items that may be on tonight's agenda, under a public hearing, we ask that you reserve your comments until the public hearing. So when your name is called by the city clerk, I ask that you will come to the podium. Please clearly state your name and home address for the record. Then when you see the light located on the podium change from green to yellow, means you have 30 seconds left to speak. When you see the red light come on, that means your time has expired. Again, due to policy restrictions, we are unable to extend the given time. With that being said, Madam Clerk, please call your first speaker.
Mayor, we have 4 speakers signed up for this evening. Our first speaker is Miss Tiffany McLaughlin. Miss Tiffany McLaughlin appears not to be here. Our next speaker signed up is Mr. Jose Orlana. Mr. Jose Orlana. Our next speaker signed up is Iman Iranime Mohammed Smith.
The Honorable.
I came from one of my favorite TV shows. Greetings, everyone. My name is Imam Amir Iranime Muhammad, founder of Masjid Omar Ibn Said, founder and builder of the Masjid, as well as the Muslim community of Fayetteville and Cumberland County. In 1970, with 4 Fayetteville State University Bronco Black Power students. And if you have any questions, ask your grandparents, and they will tell you. Many of them were living when we did that. I'm honored today, and I want to welcome everybody that's here, because this is a great time to solve problems. We have situations around the country that Fayetteville can solve the problems, and we're here to solve those problems, brothers and sisters. As the founder of Masjid Omar Ibn Said, we want to focus on what the Prophet said, find something positive. When I'm here, I'm not coming just for what I want. It's what we want for the rest of the country, the rest of the world. And he said, be a public servant. He said, the best of you are the ones who serve the entire community, not just Muslims. That's what he said. So that's what I'm doing. So this is how we've been blessed by having a team, the North Carolina Legislative Black Caucus up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Senator Dan Blue and others who helped me do some of these great things that you hear me talking about. This week, I saw a young boy downtown in front of the charter school almost get killed and run over by 2 cars. That should be your number one priority. Solve that problem. A friend of mine was just sitting and drinking coffee and honey like you see in this cup, and 2 cars came, one from the right, from the left. He's standing in front of the charter school, run out in the middle of the street. So, of course, I reprimanded the school staff for letting that happen and reprimanded the parents for not holding on to that child. So we need to understand clearly, we intend to get the Legislative Black Caucus to give more money to the police chief so that she can be the one to give out the money to those police officers who have great merit. I'm not giving money for everybody, but also understand my team, the Legislative Black Caucus, we work very closely with the Sheriff Department as well. That being the case, brothers and sisters, Fayetteville State University has a new chancellor. The alumni is very, very pleased. We are something like the 3rd largest employer, or 4th in the whole city. 10 years ago, we were the 2nd largest employer with the second most money in the area. Fort Bragg has a history of working with us, and we work with them. That being the case, we want you and others to work with us and solve these problems. Rex Harris, the multimillionaire here in Fayetteville, the television reporter Greg Barnes, and up in Channel 11 in Durham, Ed Crump. They all say that Imam Muhammad is a great man, a great person for some reason. Even Johnny Dawkins' daddy, he almost said the same thing. But he and I used to debate each other in Dawkins' office. So I'm waiting for the time when we can debate the mayor in his office. And he called me one day, he said, "You're pointing your finger at me." I said, "Well, you're pointing your finger at me." He said, "You're right." So let's have a good debate, but welcome the people to hear.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next speaker is Mr. Charles Hurst.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how you doing? Greetings to the mayor, the city council, and citizens of Fayetteville, North Carolina. I come before you as a conscientious black man who has a grasp of history and of the English language. I'm pretty fluent with my nouns, my pronouns, my adverbs, my verbs, and my prepositions. And I have a sense of history. Most of you on the city council have had college education, and most of you have gone forward with more education other than that once you received your degrees from college. So I'm somewhat baffled by the lack of consciousness in recent history and ancestral history in Fayetteville, North Carolina, that has several we recently had, within the last few years, has several public forums concerning the removal of the market house from city documents and vehicles. So imagine my surprise when I seen individuals at the market house singing holiday songs and religious music. To me, it was like an endorsement of the racist, discriminatory history of that particular location. For some reason, black people are labeled as those with short attention spans and are quick to forgive every racial slight. It is insensitive to have any religious or holiday celebrations at that particular location. It's like a group of African American individuals getting together and walking the trail of tears that led to some of the slaughter of our Native Americans in this country they call the United States. If we got together and walked to the Trail of Tears singing gospel music or rap music, it's the same kind of slight, racial slight. That's how I take it. And conscious-minded people of color, that's how we should take it. Stop thinking. Most of you present are very conscious of the influx of racial strife that is presently coming from the Trump administration, especially. So for anyone to compound that with the racial issues that we presently have, not only in the state of North Carolina, but across the whole country, we're being attacked with a Voter Rights Act that barely passed because the Trump administration sought to hold up that vote and other racial issues. It was very insensitive for any person of color to be at that location, at that market house, singing any religious songs or any holiday songs. That location, my people shed blood and they were sold. That is nothing to walk over slightly. I conclude my testimony. Thank you.
Mayor, we have no further speakers.
Thank you. Item 9.01, report, RSM LLP. Mr. Tola.
All right. Mayor, Council, thank you. Jay Tolan, Chief Financial Officer. Tonight we have before you Robbie Bittner, who is a Senior Manager for RSM, the city's external audit firm. He's prepared to give you the financial and audit results for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2019. The city's audit report was submitted to the Local Government Commission on November 15th and presented and received by the Audit Committee on November 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Mr. Mayor, City Council, first off, I'd like to say I'm getting ready to talk to you about the most riveting topic that you're going to hear all night, the financial statement audit. Now, I'll try to be brief. We've already been through this with the audit committee. So first off, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of myself, behalf of RSM, and behalf of Mr. Willie Cooper, who is our subcontractor. We really do appreciate the opportunity to serve the city. So we'll first start with our presentation here. Quick financial results. The first thing you have, the comprehensive annual financial report that Jay distributed out to you earlier today, this evening, has 8 major parts that are made up of the management's discussion and analysis. That's kind of your baseline, easiest read, followed by your government-wide financial statements, fund financial statements, then your notes to the financial statements, required supplementary information, other supplemental information, statistical data, and then finally the compliance section. Really going from top to bottom, it goes from broadest down to the narrowest. So as auditors, we're charged with rendering an opinion on whether or not we feel that your financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, or GAAP. And we can issue 3 types of opinions or disclaim an opinion. The unmodified or clean opinion is the highest level assurance that we can provide as external auditors, and the city did receive an unmodified or clean opinion this year. This next few slides are going to go through pretty quickly. There's just some financial results that have already been presented to you previously. As you can see, the 2 largest pieces of general fund revenues are related to your ad valorem taxes and your other intergovernmental revenues, which a large percentage of that is sales tax. This is just a trend growth showing that there's really not been a tremendous amount of growth in those revenues over the past several years. This particular slide is showing us that your tax rates for each $100 worth of assessed value is 49.95 cents per $100 of value. And that is right in line with similar sized cities in the state of North Carolina. These similar sized cities are cities that are in excess of 100,000 in population and do not have an electrical component within the actual city itself. So PwC being one is not quite the same as that. This year is showing your current property tax collected. We're showing a good, strong trend here. The city has, at least for the past 5 years, been very strong in their collections, and you'll see that it is higher than their similar sized cities within the state and the statewide average. Your general fund expenditures for the year, this falls fairly in line with most municipalities within North Carolina, where public safety and administration are your 2 largest, but public safety does take on the largest percentage by far which includes your police force, your fire, and your rescue. So this, again, is just sort of a growth of expenditures by segment. You can see that everything's sort of steadily grown over the past 5 years. General fund balance has shown some growth in the past several years, and I believe some of that is attributed to open positions that have not been filled that were budgeted. This is a breakdown of the fund balance. Fund balance has 5 main categories, which are non-spendable, restricted, committed, assigned, and unassigned, going from the most restrictive down to the least restrictive. The biggest or the most notable number on here is the unassigned fund balance of $7.9 million. This is a fund balance as a percentage as of your net expenditures. As you can see, the city is currently right in line with the similar sized cities. While it's has less in available fund balance than a lot of cities throughout the state, there's a sort of a scale here. The smaller the city, the more they need in reserve, since the expenditures that they have are not as high. So the smaller cities, you're going to see that much higher percentage of available fund balance as compared to expenditures. This is your legal debt margin calculation. The state of North Carolina allows you to borrow up to 8% of your assessed property value for any what's considered governmental activity debt. Right now, the city is sitting at right about 9% of their legal debt margin is currently borrowed. This year's analysis of debt by municipalities for fiscal year 2018. This is the local government commission provides this information on an annual basis, and until they've received everything related to 2019, that information won't be available. This is a little bit different than the previous. This is showing here that this is total outstanding general obligation debt, or any debt that is backed by the full faith taxing power of a municipality. So it does not include your what would be considered capital leases or limited obligation bonds that are backed by some sort of property or that sort of thing. So as you can see right now, the city is significantly lower than most of its peer cities within the state. In addition to our opinion on your financial statements, we are also required to issue our statement or our report on internal control and compliance in accordance with government auditing standards, as well as our opinion on the fair statement of the federal federal expenditures of federal awards, federal and state awards, and the passenger facility charges program, and your compliance with those programs. So this year, for the single audit, that includes the federal and state single audit, we tested the Airport Improvement Program and the Non-State System Street Aid Program, which is also more commonly known as the PAL bill. Happy to say there's a few slides here sort of describing control deficiencies and that sort of thing. Happy to say through the course of our reports, we issued an unmodified opinion on the fair presentation of the schedule of federal expenditures of awards, as well as the passenger facility charge program. We also did not note any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control over the financial statements or over your compliance with federal grant requirements. In addition, that report, in accordance with government auditing standards, requires us to report any instances of fraud, waste, or abuse that are noted during the course of our audit, and we did not note any during the course of our audit this year. So we just have a few slides in here that sort of note prior year findings. All of these have been alleviated, 2 of which were related to the Public Works Commission, and 1 related to the city itself, and all 3 of the significant deficiencies reported on last year have been alleviated. The last thing we'll go through is what's considered a AUC 260 letter, or what was formerly known as SAS 114. This is required communications by an auditor to those charged with governance. That sort of arose out of the Enrons and WorldCom failures of the early 2000s. So I'm just gonna, you have a separately issued letter that we provided that shows all of the required communications. I'm just gonna hit a couple of highlights. First off, there were no disagreements with management. We did not have any audit adjustments, and we did not have any uncorrected misstatements that we noted in the financial statements. Additionally, there were four accounting standards adopted this year, and there were no material effects of those accounting standards. The most significant of those resulted in a few more disclosures related to debt. Other than that, nothing like we've had in the past several years where that resulted in mandatory restatements. So with that, I'm going to come in closing, but I'd like to first thank Jay and his team. They really, and Doug and his team as well, they really do help us out. And there's also a testament to them that 2 years ago, we were not able to present this information until February. And now we are here able to present all this information for the over 200-page report that you have, well within the Local Government Commission guidelines. So a testament to all the hard work that they do, and it has made our life easier, and we certainly do appreciate it. And so I'll be glad to entertain any questions.
All right, yes, sir, we do have a couple, and then I'll do mine last. Councilman Dawkins. All right. Councilman Hare, was that a question?
Yes, sir. Just for my clarity, on slide 13, the 7.9 million unassigned, that is for our, like our emergency disaster fund balance, is that what?
That is your general fund unassigned fund balance. So that does not have, it has no stipulations to it whatsoever.
Okay, is that what that's normally used for, Mr. Hewitt, or just stated as the auditor said? Is that our emergency fund balance?
Yes, sir. It basically is.
Did you say yes, sir?
Yes, I said.
Okay,
yes,
I didn't hear you.
But it's, but as you may recall during the hurricane as well, in times of need, we're able to put IOUs in a lot of different places to make sure we're able to maintain
I
payroll.
mean, I thought it was. I was just wanting to get some clarity for myself. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah. All right. So I did have a couple of questions. So I was looking for the slide where you compared our fund balance to similar sized cities. Do you remember what number that was?
14, I believe. Fund balance available as a percentage of general net fund expenditures.
Okay.
Is that correct?
So, yes, sir. So you said that we were in line or a little low compared to?
You're actually a little bit higher. You have a little bit more in reserve than your similar sized cities. So you see it's 34.8% versus a state average of 33.5 for cities in excess of 100,000 in population. Now, from a statewide perspective, which includes all municipalities, you are a bit lower. However, that is to be expected because of the scale of the city and how much.
So for a smaller city, you've got to keep more on hand.
From a percentage perspective, that's correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. And then you also said our borrowing capacity, our debt. We're carrying 1.36% of the legal debt limit compared to our municipal peers who are at 6 and 8, which means that we've kind of been paying cash or pay as you go and haven't really been utilizing our good credit and borrowing power.
This is stating that your general obligation bonded debt is at a lower percentage than your peers in the state of North Carolina. Now, total legal debt margin includes limited obligation bonds as well as any capital lease items. So that rolls into it. So your total as of the end of 2019 was right at 9%, which was on slide 15. The percentage is not there, but the total debt applicable to the legal debt margin. However, compared to what is available from a general obligation standpoint, the city is not utilizing general obligation debt the same as other municipalities in the state of North Carolina.
And that pays for things like sidewalks, street paving, things that we need to make the community better. It's saying that we haven't really been utilizing our capacity, in other words.
Yes, sir. The general obligation debt can be utilized for just about anything that the council determines is in the best interest of the city, as long as, you know, there are some legal limits on there, and I'm not the professional to tell you exactly what those are.
Gotcha.
However, that is the case, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Davis.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wasn't here on the last council, but I just wanted to ask a question. Based on lessons learned, you talked about we having a report that's unmodified, meaning clean. There are no major changes that need to be made. What can you attribute, if there are two major action items, what moves, what action items were taken? City manager, clear, for that to take place as an auditor.
From our perspective, what we see is readiness for audit,
Mm.
and that's the closing of the books in a timely manner and that sort of thing, as well as just the cleanliness of the documentation that is provided to us. So things have been reviewed appropriately. The controls have been tightened to make sure that things are not falling through the cracks, because that's where we come in. We statistically sample a lot of things, and statistically, if things are falling through the crack, we're going to find something. However, this year, we did not find anything. And like I said, I do believe it's a testament to the efforts that the teams here have really put in. I mean, compared to a couple of years ago, we're in a much better situation. I believe the city's in a much better situation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, I'll go back to Councilman Dawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Robbie, for your work. I want to thank Jay Tolan, CFO, and his team for his work, Elizabeth Summerdike and her team. The last couple of months, I've had to chair the committee because of lots of different things going on, but I wanted the council to be aware of the committee members that worked mighty hard and read the 268 pages of this audit from RSM. So Dr. Evelyn Shaw of PwC, Dr. Pamela Jackson of Fayetteville State University, Ms. Amy Samperton of Fayetteville Technical Community College, Councilman Larry Wright, Councilman Bill Crisp, and Darswell Rogers of PwC. So wanted to thank them publicly on the record because these meetings were long. And I'm thrilled that we have some new members that have audit experience, Mr. Mayor, that I will share with you to make sure they may want to jump on this committee because it is very exciting. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the audit report from RSM US LLP for the year ended June 30th, 2019.
Thank you, Councilman Dawkins. There's a motion to accept this report. There's a second by Councilmember Ingram. Any discussion on the motion? All right, council, I'll look to you for your votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Thank you. Good work, Jay. Item 9.02 is the item for consideration that was added to the end of the agenda. Mr. Hewitt, are you explaining this item, or?
I am, sir.
Councilman here.
What I'm trying to do with this item, sir, Mayor and Council, during our last meeting there was some not exactly clarified timeline. It was a little mix-up between 30, then 60 versus 90. So I wanted to clear up that the request time for the work to be done for 1912 Murkison Road to be for 90 days. And so what I would like to do is make a motion to clarify that the demolition ordinance for 1912 Murkison Road be stayed for 90 days from November the 25th, 2019.
Thank you. There's a motion by Councilmember Hare. There's a second by Councilmember Waddell. Any discussion on the motion? All right, council, look to you for votes.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Council.
Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. All right, council, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
All right, you all have a good holiday.